We are synthesizing a polypeptide at the moment. It is necessary to build up a polypeptide by bonding one amino acid to the next. The first step begins through here.
Harry, aren't you coming?
Oh, I think I know enough about the commercial process, thank you. Stan imagines he's going to find something wrong. He's wasting his time, of course.
Mary, I hope you didn't mind when I suggested you worked with him on this investigation. It isn't just that he requires the advice of a biochemist. In my view, he requires the help of an academic mind as well.
Yes, well, I'm afraid Stan is more of a doer than a thinker.
But perhaps it would be difficult for you.
No, it's okay. And you're right. I shouldn't get irritated.
He's under quite a lot of pressure, of course. His company has invested an enormous amount of money. His career could be at risk.
Oh, yes. His head is on the block. Well, maybe it is. But there are a lot of other people who've taken risks on this project as well, you know. Our first human volunteers, for instance. Hello, Danny. Have a good holiday.
Oh, just great. Lots of sunshine, lovely food. And
Can you mark that for me, please?
Oh, yes, of course, thanks.
So what's been happening while I've been away?
Well, the Institute has completed the toxicity tests on K40.
At last.
And we've had permission from the Ethical Committee to carry out tests on human volunteers.
Oh, good. We'll find plenty of volunteers here at the university.
Well, at the moment, we only need 12.
12?
Well, 11 to be precise. 11 others beside myself.
You?
Oh, yes, of course. But would you sort it out for me, Elmira? Yeah, I suggest we start on Monday the 20th. Okay?
You shouldn't let her do it. If it did turn out to be toxic, What I mean is she's too valuable.
Elmira had wanted to be one of the first to be injected with K40. I told her that only one member of our research team should be a volunteer, and I had already claimed that privilege.
Good morning, Elmira.
Early for you, isn't it?
No, it's just a bit cold in my room after Africa. I couldn't sleep.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But now you're here, you might at least do something useful. Don't know how you got your degree, the amount of time you waste. We'll be giving the first injections in about an hour, or had you forgotten?
Is it today?
I'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the booster.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Hold on.
Right. My turn.
I still don't think this is a good idea.
Can't ask anyone to take a risk I'm not prepared to take myself.
Yes, but...
It'll be all right. Come on.
That's strange.
What's the matter?
Well, it's gone.
There was no point in asking you. You would never have agreed.
I certainly wouldn't have agreed to your behaving unprofessionally. You know how strict the ethical committee is. They've every right to be strict. These tests aren't something you just do casually. Volunteers have to be specially selected and approved. How am I going to explain that you were injected instead of me?
You meant well, Mary.
Oh, I know he meant well. Of course I know it. Ethical committee is concerned with an approved code of practice, not with good intentions. Do you realize they could make us abandon our research project because of this?
I mean, surely they wouldn't.
But they could. Not going to be very impressed with my ability to control the situation, are they?
It was my fault. They should blame me, not you.
Well, I blame myself for allowing it to happen.
I didn't mean to cause problems, Mary. I'm sorry. Really.
I'll be even sorrier if it turns out to be toxic.
In that case, it will serve me right.
Once Danny had injected himself with K40, there was no point in turning back. We let him take a booster dose 2 weeks later and then tested his blood to see if K40 had stimulated antibodies. We put a sample of his blood in a centrifuge to separate the red cells. This gave us a clear serum.
Are you sure you have no symptoms of any kind?
Well, I had a headache this morning and a little dryness in the throat, lassitude. But I was at a party until 4 this morning.
Substrate, Elmira. Danny's serum was tested in an assay to detect the specific antibody to K40. If the antibody was present, there would be a color change.
Mary, nothing's happening.
Yes, it is. It's turning blue.
That's it. You've got antibodies. Aren't you clever? As far as I could see, Danny and the other volunteers suffered no side effects as a result of being injected with K40. All the same, I thought it would be worth getting a second opinion. I asked a friend of mine, a consultant, to give them another checkup.
Danny? It's all right, isn't it? Oh. Coffee?
You think of everything. I wish I was half as efficient.
You have all the bright ideas. That's enough. I'm so glad everything's all right.
Well, we're all anxious to prove K40.
I mean, for your sake, too.
I didn't know you cared.
Of course I care.
Elmira, I shan't be here for much longer. Like you, I only stayed on at New Hampton just to see this through. Now it's finished, as far as we're concerned. I mean, it's up to the pharmaceutical people from now on, and...
Where will you be going?
To the Institute in Nairobi. In a few years, maybe when we have supplies of K40, then I'll work out in the field.
You won't be able to go to many parties then.
That's a drawback, I admit. Actually, I wondered whether you'd like to come. We could work together as a team. My idea is your efficiency.
I've also got a job to go to. And you got the confirmation yesterday. It's with Universal Chemicals at their laboratories in London. I'll be doing research into antigens.
Well, that will be very interesting.
Yes.
Time to go.
Danny and Elmira left New Hampton soon afterwards to start their new jobs. Our own test with K40 proved successful. VPI organized the next stage, a field test in an isolated African village. The first step was to give chemotherapy to those already infected. We had to ensure that as far as possible the inhabitants were free from bilharzia. Then, the entire village was given 2 injections of K40. The first dose stimulates a primary response by the immune system. The second, given 14 days later, is intended to boost immunity to an effective level. Once immunized, the villagers resumed their normal lifestyle, with its attendant risks of infection. The medical team worked in the village obtaining samples for tests. The whole process lasted many months. In the end, the results were conclusive. Danny came back to England to carry out research for the Nairobi Institute, and I arranged to meet him.
So, the field trials were successful.
Yes, isn't it marvelous?
I always knew they would be.
Well, then you knew more than I did.
Mary, what we need now is commercial production, and lots of it.
And BPI are making plans. Well, they're having trouble with one of the bondings in the polypeptides, but they'll get round that. How are things getting on at the Institute?
Fine, thanks. We've got some good people and... Elmira.
I asked her to come. I thought you might like to see her again. Hello, Elmira. Nice to see you. Sit down. I'll go and get another cup.
Oh, no, I'll go.
No, you, talk to Danny.
Well.
Well?
How are you
getting on?
I'm fine. How are you getting on?
Oh, fine. I often think about the old days at New Hampton.
All those parties.
And other nice things.
I misjudged you, Danny, in those days. I'm sorry. Hope you forgive me.
You're forgiven.
I've been thinking a lot lately. You once asked me if I'd like to work in Nairobi.
Yes?
Is the offer still open?
A letter from Elmira not long ago. She and Danny are married.
Oh, wow.
Working in the field. And they say they're hoping for supplies of K40.
I think we're all hoping for that.
I think Dr. Markowski is impressed.
Well, that's nice to know.
Now perhaps he will look at the engineering systems.
I hope so.
Let's go.